So he's a part-time builder, a part-time golfer and a full-time shot putter. He obviously won bronze for New Zealand at the Rio Olympics and he joins me now. Tom Walsh, so good to have you on Gym Sport Go. Thanks a lot for your time. As I say, you've just come off a golf tournament in Queenstown. It must be fun when you get to do things, sporting things away from shot putting.
Oh, it is. It is. I'm hugely competitive no matter what it is. So, with the golf tournament, even though I was playing in the amateur event, the team's amateur event, I still wanted to make the cut and I still wanted to do well. But it was an amazing week. If anyone's ever got the time to go down there and be part of it, I would highly recommend it. It was I'm a cricket fan and a cricket tragic, and the first night I was down there, I got to have dinner with Stephen Fleming, Brendan McCullum, Alan Border, Shane Warne, Surian Botham, Ricky Ponting, kind of thing. So, it was an amazing week, not only for the golf, but also some of the people I got to meet as well.
Holy smoke, mate. Were you taking autographs and photos?
I was just sitting back listening to their stories, mate.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing because, I grew up watching a lot of those players and to be invited to dinner with them around at Flem's house was pretty cool.
You love a beer as well. It must have been nice to have had a beer with those sorts of guys because it makes it a much more informal, relaxed sort of a setting, doesn't it?
It does indeed. Yeah, that was the big thing. It was out of the public eye, and it was just a quiet barbecue with 10 or 15 people around, and it was really enjoyable. And some of the stories were quite funny. Did
they pepper you a little bit about shot put and where you're at?
Oh yeah, they did. Well, Flem and Baz were like, oh, geez, I don't even know. We were wondering if you were drink, or if you drink not a Tommy or whatever, something like that. And I'm like, no. Always have one or two, Flem, and they were like, oh, how many throws do you have? And I was like, oh, maybe 12 in a session. He's like, only 2 overs. You're a bloody lazy bastard.
So you love your cricket. What other sports do you like?
Obviously, golf is a big one. And being a Kiwi, mate, how can you not like rugby? That's it's almost a sin if you don't like it. I've actually, with all my American mates, I've got into American football.
Right.
That's probably another big one that I enjoy watching now. And of course, most sport I can watch, mate. It's just some I've got more appreciation for than others.
Being a big lad, you would have played a bit of footy back in the day. What sort of position did you play and what sort of level did you get to?
I played number 8.
Yep.
Through for my first team, and I actually made a Southern Regions team at high school. So to somewhat of an all right level, but
yep.
But then I left school and injured my shoulder actually the last game of my school year, and then wondered why it kept on going dead when someone would run into it, and finally got it checked out a few months later. And the doc said, if you want to keep playing footy, you're going to have to get surgery. And I was like, well, I can play cricket and I can still do athletics, so I might just leave it at that.
What did you do in cricket? Were you a batsman, bowler, or a bit of both?
Yeah, I was an all-rounder. Yeah. I was probably better at cricket than what I was at football, or rugby, I should say.
Yep.
So, and athletics, really, in the scheme of things, was the third one on the list. I did it just because I was good at it, and I wasn't really probably trained more of both the other two. So, and it's funny how things change.
Do you swing a hammer much anymore in your part-time job as a builder?
Yeah, I do still, but very part-time now. There seems to be a lot more pressure on my time now from sponsors and other requirements. So, I work 3 days a week until 1 o'clock, probably for about 5 months of the year. Considering I'm away from home probably 6 months of the year, and then another month or give or take, I'm probably doing some media stuff or stuff like that. So there's still a little bit in there, but it's starting to get smaller and smaller.
Not much time in there for a holiday.
I don't know the last time I've actually had a proper holiday. I've had breaks from certain things, whether it be the building or the athletics or anything like that, but I've never actually not done any of it at one point in time. So my girlfriend's on my case about going on a holiday together.
Yep.
But of course, being away from home, that 6 months a year. The last thing I feel like doing is
Getting back on a plane?
getting back on a plane and going on holiday again.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Talk to me about a typical training day for you in season.
In season, so right now, actually I've got nationals in the weekend coming up, so that should be a bloody good comp and it'll be really enjoyable. But at the moment, it's pretty low key training because I'm trying to be fresh, and so I'll probably get up around 6:30, 7 o'clock, and usually get up and do my stretching, which takes about half an hour, 40 minutes, and then I'll have some breakfast. And then by 9ish, I'm probably, in the car going to training, and I'll probably do whether it's a throw session or a lifting session, and that will probably take between an hour to 2 hours. And then around midday, usually there's some type of physio massage, kind of some type of treatment usually. And then usually the rest of the day is off at the moment just because we're trying to freshen up, but when it's under heavy loading, there'll be another session in the afternoon that will take anywhere between an hour and 2 hours. And then, I'll probably usually be home by about 4 or 5 o'clock.
Nice. Do you have to watch what you eat, or are you, one of those fortunate blokes that can just eat whatever you like?
No, look, obviously we do watch what I eat, but the problem at the moment is I'm a little bit light. I'm about a kg or two light. So it's about trying to get in as much food as possible, and so it's about just trying to pile it all in. We do try and stay away from the shitty food, if that's the word to explain it, and try better food in terms of more home cooked stuff, veggies, meat, and things like that. Because the big thing is for me is to keep that weight on, and to a certain extent, weight is power, and my sport power is very important.
I've got a couple of kgs you can have if you need a few, mate. You've obviously got good friends who are in the shot put sort of world and the track and field world. Who are your key sort of rivals?
There's a lot of Americans who are very good throwers. The Americans have probably got maybe 6 or 7 guys in the top 20 in the world, maybe even more than that. So, but the big ones at the moment is Ryan Craver, who we've just had down in New Zealand for 2 comps. He's just first year out of college, so he's the same age as me, and he's going all guns blazing at the moment and is throwing really big. Then we've got Joe Kovacs, another American guy who's won world champs last year and got 2 years ago, sorry, and got silver at Rio this year. So he's another American guy who's pretty good. And then there's this new young Polish guy who's come out and threw 21.90 this year. So but saying that, there's a lot more than just those 3. Men's shot put's very deep. There'll be 20 guys or 25 guys probably who throw over 21 metres this year, and so it makes for a pretty deep field in some of the events.
Bronze at Rio, silver at the Com Games in 2014. I'd imagine you're gunning for gold on the Gold Coast next year?
We sure am. I guess that was slightly frustrating in Com Games. I had the Commonwealth Games record for 24 hours, and then Dane Richards, the Jamaican guy, come and dropped a bomb and took it off me, and I didn't see him coming either, so that was probably a bit of a shock. So, it feels like I've got a little bit of unfinished business there to take care of for sure. I'd love that Commonwealth Games gold around my neck because we don't do the sport to come second or third. We do the sport to win it. And even though the bronze was a great achievement in Rio, I still was slightly disappointed that things didn't go slightly better.
Fantastic attitude there, Tom Walsh. Thanks so much for your time. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks.